Hello again. Today I'm attempting a very new game to the channel called Mazele. The idea here is to form a path from the left-hand column to the right-hand column, but you've got to form the right path, and after each of your guesses it will give you some clues around the outside as to how close you are. So I tend to start with a stepping stone pattern. You can do something like this as long as you end in the right hand column. So actually you couldn't do this specifically, but you can go to the right, circle back and so on. Any path is allowed as long as it starts on the left, ends on the right. So I'm going to do 2s everywhere actually. So we'll start with this. I'll submit, and now you can see it gives us some clues basically. So the black clue means that the number is wrong. The yellow clue means that the number is correct, but you've got the wrong cells. Maybe one of them is correct and one of them is wrong, but it's not the correct pair. And obviously green means that you've got the right cells and the right number of cells. So very similar to Wordle in that respect. So we have to use those two. Now we know that it's not a 1 on the top row, so it helpfully tells us there. So I'm going to maybe do something like that. Now we've got way more than one. You also can't do something like that because then the path is not well defined. You can touch yourself diagonally, but you can't have two things side by side essentially. Right, this is not right unless we circle back up to this row later on, which we could do. But how about we try something like that? That's not right because this can't be a 2. The way that you make progress in this, a little bit of trial and error, but once you've made some guesses it's actually quite restrictive because you'll find that you either get one column messed up or another row messed up, and eventually you find that there is only one correct path possible. Obviously there's only one correct path, but eventually you'll find that there's only one possible path. How about we do something like that, but that can't be a 1, and we can't add another one there because then this would be a 2. In fact, we already messed up because this couldn't be a 5, it couldn't be a 2. So is this consistent? This, we're trying 3 instead of 1, 3 instead of 2. In fact, this can't be correct because we know that these are not the 2 specific ones. So maybe we'll try something like that instead. That still means we're trying all different numbers along the side. We've got too many in this row now. See what I mean about it's actually quite difficult to find one possibility, let alone the correct possibility. I think maybe let's try circling back towards this top row a bit later because that's what I'm struggling with at the moment. We have to use at least 3 there if we're not going to just use 1 because it cannot be specifically 2. This row, this column, sorry, is now definitely wrong, so let's add a few more in there, and now let's test whether this is a possible answer. I think it is. It's probably completely wrong, but we'll click submit and see if it gives us some more hints that are useful. Interesting, we're actually very close. I feel confident we're going to get it on this attempt. So it's got to be those 5. It's got to be those 3. Now, we know that there's only 1 in this row, and it can't just be that, because then it's got to be a singular path from the left to the right. So if it was this, we would never fit this 2 in. You can have 0s, but we know that there's 2 down here and we can't extend this, so we would never be able to get to them. So it can't go there, it can't go there, so it clearly has to go straight down, and similarly this can't go left or right, so it has to go straight down. Right, looking at what we've done above, it obviously can't just join up for the same reason that it couldn't join up before. In fact, when you've got a 1, say it was this one, we know that the path doesn't end here because it has to end in the left. Start on the left and end on the right. So if we've got a 1 here, it has to go straight through that path, that column rather. And we know it can't go straight through on this row because we've only got 2. Can't go straight through on this row because then this would be the one on that column, which we just tried, and it told us it was yellow. So it has to be those 3 along there. Now, we know that this is 4. Oh, we've actually got the exact 4. Sorry, I missed that. So it definitely has to be that then, doesn't it? What else are we going to try? This cannot be a 1 or a 2. So again, it can't just link down straight like that, because then this would be a 1. So it's going to have to be that, I suspect. I'm pretty confident that this has to be correct. And we should get greens everywhere, and we do. So that is the very first Mazele solved successfully on this channel. You can see just off screen I've got a current streak of 1. Clearly my best streak is 1. 100% win percentage, and it took me 3 guesses. So that's 1, 2, 3. Sorry, it's not quite on the screen, but you saw that I took 3 guesses. So I'm very happy with that. There's a link in the description if you want to play it yourself. It's very different to Wordle, so it's not that similar to some of the other puzzles that I've had on my channel, but it's quite an entertaining way to occupy yourself for several minutes. Takes a lot longer than regular Wordle, to be fair. So that's the Mazele puzzle. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.